Have you ever looked up at a giant skyscraper, or even just at your own home, and wondered, what's its story? I don't just mean who lives there now, I mean its entire life story. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We are going to follow the complete journey of a building, from just a tiny spark of an idea to a massive reality, and all the way to its final chapter. Let's dive right in. It's a really cool way to think about it, right? Buildings are conceived as an idea, they're born from blueprints, they live a long, useful life, and then, eventually, they reach their end. We're going to trace that exact journey, a biography written in nothing but concrete and steel. All right, so here's a roadmap. We're going to walk through 5 key chapters: conception, development, birth, life, and finally legacy. So let's get started at the very, very beginning. Okay, Chapter 1, conception. Before anyone even thinks about a blueprint, before a single brick is even considered, the most basic, most fundamental decision has to be made. Where is this building going to live? This very first step is called site selection, and honestly, it's absolutely crucial. Think of it like this: you're choosing the DNA for the entire project. If you get this part wrong, if the land is bad, there is no amount of brilliant design or fancy construction that can fix it. The whole thing really does rest on this one decision. So what are the engineers and developers actually looking for? Well, they're kind of like detectives investigating a piece of land. They're checking out the location, access to roads. They're testing the soil to make sure it can actually hold up a massive building. They dig into the cost, and this is a big one, the legal status of the land. And of course, you gotta have the basics, right? Water, electricity, it's a massive checklist to get through. Okay, so once a site has been picked out, we hit the next huge checkpoint, the feasibility study. This is the ultimate reality check before anyone starts spending millions of dollars. Is this thing actually gonna make money? Is it legal? Is it safe? This is that make or break moment where, a lot of really ambitious ideas just stop. Now, if the project gets the green light, we officially enter the development phase. This is where the building starts to feel real. Not in the physical world, not yet, but on paper and on computer screens. It's where the idea becomes a detailed set of instructions. And this stage is this really fascinating dance between art and science. It kicks off with the architect's vision, the look, the feel, the general layout. Then the engineers jump in to design the skeleton, the columns, the beams, the plumbing, all the stuff that makes the vision actually stand up. And finally, the whole thing has to get a big stamp of approval from the government. Let's geek out on that engineering for just a second. The number one core challenge for any structural engineer really boils down to this simple little equation. Dead load. That's just the weight of the building itself, the concrete, the steel, all of it. Live load is basically everything else: people, furniture, snow, but it also includes these incredible invisible forces, like the sheer pressure of wind trying to push a skyscraper over. The building has to be designed to handle all of it, all the time, without fail. Of course, today's engineers aren't just using pencils and rulers anymore. They're using incredibly powerful software like AutoCAD and Revit to build these super precise 3D models of the entire building. These digital blueprints let them test everything out in the virtual world before a single piece of construction equipment shows up. And that brings us to the final gatekeeper of this whole design phase. Look, it doesn't matter how incredible the design is or how perfect the engineering calculations are. If the local government authorities don't sign off on those plans, the project stops dead in its tracks. It is an absolutely non-negotiable step to make sure everyone is safe. All right, with all the approvals in hand, we finally get to move on to the most exciting phase, birth. This is where all that planning, all that paperwork, finally turns into a real physical structure rising up from the ground. And construction follows a really logical sequence. First, you gotta dig. The excavation clears the way for the foundation, which is the solid base for the whole building. Then, up goes the skeleton, the columns and beams that make up the structural frame. Floors get poured one after another, and finally, you get to the finishing touches: walls, paint, windows, all that good stuff. But listen, safety isn't just something you draw on a blueprint, it's a daily, hands-on job on the construction site. You've got quality control teams constantly on site, testing the strength of the concrete, inspecting the welds on steel beams, making sure every single step meets those strict safety standards. So, after months or sometimes even years of construction, the building is finally ready to start its life. This is where it transforms from a project into a place, a home, an office, a hospital, whatever it was designed to be. This big moment is formally called the handover. After one last super thorough inspection, the building gets its occupancy certificate. That's the official piece of paper that says, hey, this building is complete, it's safe, and people can now officially move in and use it. The doors finally swing open, and the building's real purpose begins. But the story is far from over. I mean, just like a person, a building needs constant care to stay healthy and functional throughout its long life. Its work has really just begun. This is the maintenance phase, and it's actually the longest and probably the most overlooked chapter in a building's life. We're talking about everything from fixing a leaky pipe to upgrading the entire electrical system. It's just like regular health checkups for us. It's this consistent maintenance that makes sure a building can have a long and healthy life for decades. But, no matter how well it was built or how perfectly it was maintained, every building eventually reaches the final chapter of its story, its legacy, and its end.
As a building gets older, you've got these two big forces at play. On one side, you have maintenance, which is all about trying to extend its life as long as possible. And on the other side, you have the inevitable reality of demolition, the planned, deliberate process for its end of life, which makes way for something new.
So what actually brings a building to its end? Well, the reasons are usually pretty practical. It might just be too old and maybe not structurally sound anymore, or the land it's sitting on might just be way more valuable for a new, modern project. And sometimes, sadly, it's because of severe damage from something like an earthquake or a fire.
And demolition is so much more than just a wrecking ball. It's like construction in reverse, and it's a science. It can be a very careful, piece-by-piece deconstruction with machines, a precise manual dismantling, or, the spectacular controlled implosion of a huge skyscraper. The method is always chosen with surgical precision, depending on the building and what's around it.
And that brings us right back to where we started, from an empty patch of dirt, to a detailed plan, to a bustling center of life, and then back to an empty patch of dirt again. It's a really powerful reminder that these structures that define our cities, they aren't permanent. They're on their own journey through time, just like us.
So, I'll just leave it with this thought. The next time you walk past a construction site, or you step inside a really old building, or you just see a brand new skyscraper shining in the sun, what part of its story will you think of? The ambitious dream it started as, the complex engineering holding it up, or the vibrant life that's being lived inside its walls? It kind of changes how you see the whole world around you.
If you're ready to level up, like and share this video. Subscribe and hit the bell to join the future of efficiency. Aira, your life optimized.